All right, Nick Wright, co-host First Things First. He is all fired up. So tonight, KD, Kyrie, legacy's on the line. I do like the Nets to beat Boston, but let's start with this, Nick. Celtic fans and Kyrie, I mean, you know, they have a history. Kyrie doing what he's doing. What did you make of that, first of all?
Well, listen, I'm not a pearl clutcher when it comes to grown-ups yelling back at other grown-ups who are yelling at them. I think the silliest thing we do in sports television is blur out middle fingers. I'm not sure what's being achieved there. I'm not sure who's like, oh, thank goodness that was blurred. I don't know what it means now, and my kids are safe. With that said, Colin, I am not, Kyrie Irving. However, I have been to Mother's Day 2018. I went to TD Garden to watch Cavs Celtics. Maybe not a great marriage choice, but a choice I made all the same. And guess what, Colin? I had some not nice things said to me, and I looked around and I said, yeah, I probably brought some of this on myself, and here's what I didn't do. Flip people off. Because I'm like, I'm a public person.
Yeah.
So do I think it's the mature response? No, I don't think it's the mature response. Am I super bothered by it? No. Am I really fascinated to see what he does tonight? As far as playing and reacting, yes, because I don't think the Celtic fans are going to all of a sudden take it easy on him. I don't think that's a likely outcome here.
So I think I said this before, if a couple of rock stars left and formed their own band and they had 2 flops and a very mild success, you get the band back together. And you got 2 first-round exits and a second-round exit if they lose tonight. That'll give, because you're not going to come back after 0-2. You have 7% chance, and then a second-round exit. So, I mean, even Glenn Fry and Don Henley, I'm showing my age, they had hits, and they got back together with the Eagles and said, we're better together than apart. You lose tonight. I think the importance of this thing is massive, in my opinion, Nick. You.
Wow. Well, I just lost a massive wager because I laid plus 60,000 that Glenn Fry, Don Henley, and Jesus would not be mentioned in the first hour of today's show, and you hit the trifecta. So I'm out of money, first of all. Second of all, listen, I don't think the Nets will feel dead if they lose tonight. I think the reason the Nets are dead is because they had to win game 1. Now, if they lose tonight, what they'll say is, hey, series doesn't start till the road team wins a game. We were supposed to lose. We'll go back to Barclays. Barclays, by the way, which I would imagine will probably be 50% Celtic fans anyway. But the reason the Nets are dead, Colin, is you've got to win the great Kyrie game. They didn't.
Yeah.
You've got to close out up 3 with 45 seconds left. And it's not just that they didn't close it out. The final 3 possessions of that game, Colin, it was 2 Celtic layups and a Nets contested 28-footer. Like, one of the advantages theoretically you should have in this series if you're Brooklyn is at the end of the game, we have 2 killers in Durant and Kyrie, and the Celtics don't. Tatum's historically not been great in those situations, and he's the only guy on Boston you would go to in those spots, and they blew that one. But I'm sure Brooklyn fans and faithful will convince themselves they're fine if they lose tonight. Hey, Ben Simmons might be walking through that door for 10 minutes if that'll help you. But I just think they're not well enough coached, they're not deep enough, and they don't defend well enough in order to really be able to push Boston here.
By the way, Kyle Kuzma had a good year. Lonzo Ball was rolling. Alex Caruso's a plus defender, and Brandon Ingram had 37 last night. Yeah. I will say this. The Warriors have stars and they draft and develop. The Rams have stars and they have 14 starters they drafted and developed. Lakers haven't developed anybody since Kobe. Like, Brandon Ingram now is an all-star. Isn't it an indictment on the Lakers?
I don't understand. They told me you were going to say that. I don't understand how it's an indictment on the Lakers. They drafted Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
He's a good player. They traded him for a player who was the second best player on a champion. Like, that part I don't understand how it's an indictment. Now, just making the KCP Kuzma trade for Russ is a disaster. Letting Caruso walk because, God forbid, the Lakers pay more of a luxury tax bill. You're the damn Lakers. That's a disaster. But we seem to, do this. The same thing was being said last year, Colin, about Julius Randle. It's like, the Lakers really screwed that one up. Look at Julius Randle. I'm not hearing so much about that this season. I like Ingram a lot. But if they had to go over and do it again, would you not have traded for Anthony Davis? You won the title.
Well, yeah, but now you're stuck with a bloated contract and a guy that never plays. Ingram's just moving into his peak probably for the next 7 years. If you gave me both today, I'd take the guy moving into a peak, not moving out of it.
But you'd lose a championship. But you'd have to give up the title.
Yeah, but I mean, the Lakers aren't the Mets. They've got a lot of them. You know, I'd rather have a future. Yeah, I would.
You'd rather the Lake. Okay, listen, Colin. The point of sports is to win titles. Yeah. They won a title. So hold on a second. Let me just ask you real quick. Do you think the Clippers, if they could, should undo the trade that got them Paul George, but it was a Kawhi and Paul George package?
But that's
different.
Or
do you think that was a good trade?
Well, that's different.
Why?
They're the Clippers. One title makes the franchise. Totally makes the franchise. The Mets. If the Mets win one World Series with Buck Showalter in 7 years, it makes the organization. Yankees, Ohio State football, Bama. They got a collection room of trophies. I wouldn't give up 8 years of my future for one bubble title. One bubble title.
This whole bubble title. Stop saying bubble title, first of all. That's unnecessary. Okay. Second of all, you're right about the Clippers being the Clippers. But what's also true is you're like, no, I'd still go do that again because one title's so valuable to the Clippers. But they didn't win a title. Paul George and Kawhi have played 0 career conference finals games together. Yeah. The Lakers won the title. And while, yes, historically they have been amazing, the 6 years leading up to that title were the worst 6 years in the history of the franchise. This is a weird thing folks are doing, which is KD and Kyrie came together, Paul George and Kawhi came together, LeBron and AD came together all in the same summer. LeBron and Anthony Davis have won a title. KD and Kyrie have not played a single playoff game together after round 2. Kawhi and Paul George have not played a single playoff game together after round 2. And the pairing that gets the most crap is the Lakers. The whole point is to win titles. They won a title. The other two teams haven't even been close to it. You guys are out of your mind. All right. But I'm also mad at you today.
Well,
anyway,
I was going to say, listen, Nick's a handsome guy. There was a beautiful wife. There was a stage in his life where he had a growth spurt and it wasn't gorgeous. And he's something about, he doesn't love his height or something. So there's a picture out there of Nick and I just poked him in the ribs a little.
You're really going to bother me here. So look, this is me and Kevin Wildes. Yeah. I don't know what they did to this photo, but it makes us both look like we're 5'4". Yeah. I should be self-confident enough. I shouldn't care. I know it's vain. I know it's whack to care about this, but I hate that people think I'm short when I'm almost 6'1". So Colin Cowherd, my mentor, my 1-point professional idol, sees this and look at what Colin tweets. Colin, he knows how much this bothers me because that photo. Nice to see my little friend Nick is smiling and happy. Then don't show the next picture yet. Then the big lead, which used to be owned by a colleague of ours, they have an article up. How tall is Nick Wright really? And they land on 5'7". And this is all because of you. So I'm going to ask you a question, Colin. Don't lie to your audience. Right. How tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, show the next picture. Total, full exoneration. 5 years ago, me and Colin Cowherd, before I had hair, when I was leaving LA to move to New York, Colin came and saw me because he used to be my friend. He was like, Nick, I'm not going to let you leave without giving you a hug. You're an inch taller than me. This is outrageous. It's just outrageous that you have pushed this. I need Joy to back me up. Well, this whole thing.
Colin is kind of leaning in that picture.
Joy?
I'm 2.5 inches taller and I'm leaning.
No, I can
2.5 inches.
I can confirm Nick is actually the height he's saying he is. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with being a short king.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, nothing wrong. That's right. Listen, he's the Calvin Murphy of talk show hosts.
Here's what I will tell you, Nick, because this is a good lesson for you. Because men are always making fun of women because we want a certain angle. You need to take it from this side or whatever. Yeah. Angles matter. Yeah. Why do you think I look amazing in every single one of my selfies?
That's right.
If you notice, they're all the same angle.
That's right.
It's my angle. Yeah. So you got to find your angle.
Yeah. They're all the same angle. And It would appear you have a professional videographer that follows you around, as documented by your tour of Paris, which everyone, I think there's a camera light, there's everything going on. But that's fine. Listen, I'm not making fun of anybody, and I know how ridiculous this is. I'm on national television, on Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor's show, talking about my height. Yeah. But I've gone through life with confidence of don't care about the nose, don't care about the ears. I have big ears, no one even notices because of the nose. Don't care about the squeaky voice. Yeah. I hate that people think I'm short. And Colin adding to it really has thrown my whole day off.
I will confirm Nick is not short.
All right. We got to run.
But there's nothing wrong with the short king.
First things first. By the way, per Jeff Darlington, Deebo Samuel has asked the Niners, trade me out of San Francisco. I wouldn't do it. They'll trade him to the AFC, and he'll disappear. Why? Because the AFC's got like 9 Super Bowl teams. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.